Hello, Mourieo, Engineering, Design and Drawing, MG5005, Session 9, the Picnic Table 4. Hello, and welcome to this Session 9, where we're looking at the fourth session where we're working on the Picnic Table project. This is possibly the last, almost the last session for the Picnic Table project. In the next project, the next session, we will be looking at the individual programs for electrical, mechanical and civil, and then this, hopefully there might be time for working on the Picnic Table project if you need it, but certainly this will be the last one where it's mentioned in the title, specifically Picnic Table. So in the next session we'll move into the last project of the course, which is the major project, and that will be individualized for electrical, civil and mechanical. Okay, so let's go to Moodle and just have a look at what we've got over there. So before you come to class, you're asked to review the resources below. There's not a lot of resources. I think we've pretty much got everything on the table and ready to go. So here's the video that we're doing now, the session plan here and the session notes here. So session notes, let's open those up, and they're by way of a PowerPoint, which will come here. It's opening up now. And we will go do a slideshow from the beginning, and that's our title page. Now this brings us to our session plan, which is a similar sort of session plan that we've had for all our sessions, so made it very predictable so that people know exactly what pattern we're following. So we come along, sign the register, do the little intro, and then start working on assignment work. And similarly in the second part of the session, we come in, sign the register and do the intro. So this is where we do our reminders and answer any questions that arise. So this is sort of coming towards the end of the picnic table assignment. So you will see that the learning outcomes, there's not too many new learning outcomes, so we'll get a further understanding of the picnic table assignment, reviewed more CAD skills, updated your diary, of course, because that's terribly important, and I say that every session that you need to keep that diary going. I can imagine now, as we're getting towards the end, perhaps the gloss of filling in the diary may well have worn off a little bit, so you really need to just maybe give yourself that extra push. So if this week you just make sure you get an entry in your diary and get it up to date, perhaps now would be a good time just to remember that the diary is marks there could be critical in getting you over the line, be it the line between pass and fail, or perhaps the line between a B plus and an A, or an A and an A plus. So these are very important marks, very easily gained just by completing your diary every session, or every time you come to class. So is your diary up to date? Well, let's hope it is, after I've given you all that sort of spiel there. My best efforts to try and motivate you to actually fill in your diary. You know, it's for you, for your own personal benefit. Okay, so the 2D CAD, you should have finished this by now if you're following my time scale and got that handed in. As I said, I went through this last week. You should have email the digital files to me, which consist of a DWG, perhaps with some JPEGs attached that the file might be looking for, in a PDF version. You're also handing in an A2 hard copy, which is 4 A2 sheets, which is printed in the CAD room at Wintec using the large format plotter or printer. These are the CAD Skill Sheets. These should be filled in. These give you a guarantee of, I think, around about 7.5 marks. So, yes, get that done. It gives you some sort of certainty as to your grades. I have some students have raised some questions about the amount of time that the basic 2D CAD operation takes, given that the next assignment they've been able to do that a lot quicker. However, the basic 2D CAD assignment is both assignment and learning. So within the assignment you've actually learnt CAD from scratch, and so this should be taken into account, and this is why more time has been allocated to it, so that a lot of the time allocated to the basic 2D CAD assignment has actually been for the learning of the skills. One should also remember that also during the course of this assignment you also undertook the tennis ball launcher assignment as well. So you've had two assignments going on simultaneously, simultaneously. So while it might seem that there's a lot of work has gone into this, a lot of that effort is actually learning, and a percentage of that is related to the actual assignment itself. So from here on in, the assignments are pretty much you're leading the way. You've got to search out the information you find and present them there. So you've whereas the basic 2D CAD, you are sort of pretty much had videos and things, clear directions to follow. Now that's that era is sort of past, and you're sort of working from a basic brief to try and produce things. Be aware that you'll need to ask for help. That's expected. I can show you examples of what previous students have done, as this may help you make your own conclusions and come up with your own work. So the picnic table Q&A in the live version of this, obviously we'll stop at this place and ask any questions. At this point I don't have any questions that have come to light by email or text or any other way, so I've got nothing to really answer at this point in time, but should any questions come up in the real time or in the live version of this presentation, they will be presented in part 2, or certainly mentioned in the Moodle site in one way or another. Okay, so before next class, review the resources. Well, next class you're going to be looking at your large project. At this point there will be examples of the assignment from previous years, so I suggest you have a look through those, have a bit of a review, and try and get yourself prepped up for those, so that you can ask questions and what have you when these come up. And so what's new in Moodle? Well, at this point here I think you've pretty much seen it all, but we'll just go back to the Moodle site as we can, and as we've done in the previous 8 sessions. And as you can see there's the Moodle site. There's not much extra work there. I think we're at a point where we've got everything on the table. It's just a matter of knuckling down and getting things finished and handed in and ready. So and then we will move on to session 10, which will be the projects will be out just to look at assessment. We can see down here at this point here the civil projects from previous years are available. I'm not planning them any significant change in any of them, so by all means review that material, and which will be updated in due course to meet with your requirements. Yeah, so I think that's pretty much all we've needed. I'll just have a look at the resources here. just to see if there's anything extra there that might be relevant, but no, there's nothing coming to hand at all. So I think that's pretty much our review of session 9, and we can just move ahead now with confidence and start making preparations for the final project, the individual project, the mechanical, electrical, and the civil projects. So there you go, ball's in your court. Cheers, see you.